Hey there. So I just want to make a short video as to how to explore the properties and methods of an object. So because there are times that you see there's just some sort of object and you don't know like what it does, if it has methods. Like for instance, time. If you type in print here and you type in time dot sleep, see, and then you put the double brackets here. And like you know that this is a method here, this is a method here, opposed to, like, you can definitely control and then it shows you all the properties and methods are pretty much, but it's hard to tell which is which, and that's an issue. So for instance, if I do time or time and I print that out, so it tells me what the time, so this is as a method. But I want to know all the methods of this import, of this module. So this is a method, and then for a property, we can say something like dict. See, this here is a property. See, there's no bracket at the end here. So if you do that, it tells you all this. So the way we find that is, what we're gonna do is use a dir method. And dir will show all the properties and everything there. So let's print this out. Print a. Oops. Here. Let's close this. So here is actually showing all the methods and properties of this time module. So what you want to do is you want to use this in a for loop for I and a, and you wanna use a try and pass sort of thing. You don't have to, but I would. So let's take that out and let's get the pass there. And but what you want to do, but before we do that, I don't want to jump too far ahead. Before we do that, I want to show you what the callable is asking you, if it's callable or not. So okay, let's comment this out. So for instance, I'm going to do print and callable. It's asking you if an object is callable. So for instance, time dot time dot something easy, time dot dict. So this is the property, right? And it's asking you if it's callable or not. It should return false, because this, if you can run this, for instance, you can run this time you can run this and you'll get something back. So you get all this back for time dict. But if you put that there, you can get an error, some sort of error. So this is a property, it's not a method. Opposed to something like this, time dot time, like that. This is a method, and it gives you a value back. But if you put something like this, just that, gives you just sort of this object. So what you want to do is you want to find out if it's callable or not. So in this case, this is a property, it's not callable, so you'll get a false. However, time that is callable, and that give you a true. So what you can do is you use a for loop. Let's get rid of that. To go through all the properties and methods of this time here, and we are going to this is a little bit of out of alignment. So use a for loop, and you're saying if it's callable. Oh, by the way, just this get attribute is the same thing like get get attribute is okay. So doing this time dot time. This here is a this. This here is equivalent. Is the same. Is exactly the same. Let me just put that over here in comment. This is exactly the same as saying time dot time. Essentially, like in short, it's the same thing. Except this here is a string. So this would have to be a string. So we'd have to put that in quotes. Because this list here gives you a list of strings. See over here, it's a list of strings. So I'm using this. If opposed to me doing this, I'm using this get attribute because I have a list of strings and I want to use that string to figure out to get this. So I'm using this for loop as if it's callable, and I have guess over here get time. That's this time module, and then I is the string that's in this for loop, and I'm gonna print out I because I want to know what it is, right? Because that's a string, and that's gonna be a method because if it's true, it'll be a method, and then I'm gonna put oops, I'm gonna put that, and then I'm gonna put this bracket here. So I'm gonna putting this because that, and then the bracket there. However, if it is false, if callable is false, I don't need those two brackets. I just need to get it as a property. And so if we run this, and I put here, this is a new line character because I want to space it out so it looks nice, and I have this here because I want to identify if it's a method or property. So it's a nice thing. I'm gonna put everything in obviously in the link description. Let's say this. Let's run it, and here. So if you look here, it should show you everything here. So it's saying here, oops, it says spec, it's property, package is a property, here is a method, prefer counter, it's a method, time zone is a method. So it basically tells you what all the methods and all the properties thus far. Okay, so that is about it.